Now, you may have heard about the so-called patent wars raging in the mobile world, with companies scrambling to stake claims on everyday technologies and concepts that we take for granted. But you don't have to be a fancy IP lawyer to understand the issue. Let us explain. Way back in August, Apple won $1 billion judgment against Samsung in the US. The ruling found that Samsung copied a bunch of features from the iPhone, including pinch to zoom, bounce back scrolling, and even square icons for apps. It was basically the intellectual property equivalent of this. But in courts outside the US, Samsung was favored in South Korea, Japan, and the UK, where a judge forced Apple to issue a public apology for picking on poor little Samsung. That apology basically amounted to this.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
Which didn't sit too well with the judge, so Apple ultimately had to reissue that apology on their website. Now, for some background, Apple in particular has been aggressive in patenting everything in sight. According to one consulting firm, Apple is involved in 60% of patent lawsuits happening globally right now. In addition to the features named in the big Samsung versus Apple cage match, Apple has patented this, a rectangle with rounded corners and a screen, the virtual page turn, and slide to unlock, just to name a few. Recently, they've also tried to patent wireless charging and smart task managers. Well, now a group of other influential companies are saying no more.
I'm talking about drawing a line in the sand, dude.
Facebook, Google, Zynga, and a few other tech titans have filed a complaint pleading with the US State Court of Appeals to stop honoring vague patents. In the filing, they say that vague language would impair, not promote, innovation. And many echo this position in the press, arguing that ownership of broad ideas will steamroll innovation. And these companies are getting a helping hand from the US Patent and Trademark Office. Last week, they declared all 20 claims of one of Apple's multi-touch patents, known as the Steve Jobs patent, invalid. Apple will now work to overturn this initial ruling. Steve Jobs himself once quoted Picasso in saying the following:
"Good artists copy, great artists steal."
Or was that litigate? Let us know what you think in the comments. Also, be sure to watch our previous episode where Scott tells you which Sony product is being discontinued next year. It'll bring a tear to your eye. You could also win a free t-shirt. This is Annie for TFN.